When it's fun, it can quickly stop being fun. I just felt that quite quickly. First, I took out the tire. You can wake up either way in my case. That's quite nice. A whole flock of geese there on a natural campsite. Had a great conversation yesterday evening. More on that later. First of all, greetings to the girls, hello to the boys. Since I hope there will be a bit more terror from now on than the last 750 kilometers, I have decided to do another small service at this beautiful campsite with geese and other small and larger animals. So far so good. The front wheel stay. Okay, basically the front wheel, rear wheel is free. Now I can do it. I've already shaken it endless anyway. Please only do this with protective gear and a helmet. If the motorbike tends to fall over and that happens, then you could well be seriously injured and the insurance company might not cover it. So we've done one round, let's do a second one. If it doesn't help, it doesn't hurt. Or as they say in that comic, never skimp on oil or be sparing with oil. Now in this case, it's chain oil or chain spray. Now we will continue with the correct tire pressure for off-road use. Luckily, I have a pressure gauge on my hand pump. It's a bit milky, but it should be enough. I know that I filled it up to 2.5 bar at home, so that it rolls nicely. At some point, I let a little bit out, and hopefully from now on, it will be only slippery, rocky and sandy. So I'll actually let a little bit out now. Let's see what it shows. Yeah, it should be around 2 bar. In any case, I have to make sure that I don't go below 1.8 over 50%, because otherwise I'll get a 16-second penalty and I really want to avoid that. But that doesn't apply to the motos. They don't have that problem. It's a different tire manufacturer that can't manage to make front tires that work without problems, without rules, so to speak. The 2 is nice to see on the display thing, and that's why I have to fill it up again. But that's also the purpose of the hand pump. Firstly, it's much lighter than any electric pump thing, and secondly, in my case, I can put it on top of the Turm, to speak with the German analogy, on the Turm. By the way, I also got some plastic for the fork seals, in case they start to leak again at some point. It's from some kind of lid cut out. Yes, that's how it stays there. Opposite in the same place, I have also installed the first aid kit. This allows me to easily adjust the tire pressure if it doesn't suit me for some reason. As I can now see while packing up, I wasn't alone in the tent after all. Or perhaps it hopped in early in the morning, as I had closed it during the night. Such a cute little medium-sized frog, about half the size of my fist. Now I've finished packing and on my way to pay my bill at this natural campsite. There are showers, beautiful decorated in light blue. I've already enjoyed one. And behind them is a small kitchen with fridge. I'm going to film inside. I don't know if the light is right. And Alicia, is going to get a little money from me now. Really manageable, extremely manageable. She also takes zero and speaks perfect German because she has German Afghan roots. I'm not filming her, I don't want that. She's talking right now. They are cleaning a pool which will be usable again. And there is Speedy. Speedy! A very cute dog. There are, I think, 8 dogs, and we've already seen the ducks and geese and cows, and there are 2 more ducks, black, white, and red. A tractor. Yeah, those are their off-road vehicles, which they used to go on these 4x4 tours themselves. If you want to come, please contact them in advance. And from what I saw there, you can also ask if you can bring anything from your own cellar, especially if you're not coming by moped, but perhaps by bus or 4x4 vehicle. If you can bring them anything you no longer need in your cellar, be it hose clamps or any other equipment. There's nothing to complain about. There's running water, there's also a toilet that deserves the name. Bring your own toilet paper, and so it's just extreme. In the ADAC camping guide, it's sure to get a 5-star rating because it's simply the coolest campsite far and wide. I've now left the campsite, filled up my hydration bag, and stuffed 2 more 1.5 liter bottles into my rucksack. Better it is. And now it's only a few meters, theoretically, until I reach the terrain. Slowly but surely, it's getting a bit rockier or dirtier, if I may say so. There are probably the first foothills of the off-road track. And lo and behold, there it begins. I'm happy. It was still, I don't know, 8 kilometers from the campsite, but now I found it or reached it, and now I'm enjoying the next few meters of African soil, my first kilometers or meters on loose ground. That's what it looks like for the first time. It's pleasant to ride. You can roll along smoothly. At first, it was a bit sandy, earthy. Now it's a bit rocky again. Great to ride on. Now I'm somewhere a bit further up, and you can take a really nice panoramic shot and look out over the landscape. Really nice. And then it's on again in cheerful fashion. Now we've obviously found a single trail. The thing is that OpenStreetMap maps are pretty casual. However, they are not nearly as detailed for Tunisia, and every stream and footpath is listed. Sometimes you just have to hope that the path will continue somewhere, and so on and so forth. What shall we do? Shall we go left or right? There's a path continuing on the left. Let's try the right way. Then I can at least roll backwards down it. But that doesn't look much like a path anymore. That means I'll continue in the other direction. Now I just need to find a place to turn around. Ah, there's a little stone there. It doesn't want to cooperate the way I want it to. Yes, of course. There's also a total weight of well under 200 kilos, a big advantage. What do you mean by significantly? 5 kilos? I think you can definitely call that significant. Really, really no disadvantage. You can just ride here and there where you don't necessarily want to ride with certain 100cc. Of course, it's possible. You just need the right first and last name, and then it works with certain 100cc too. These are people who have already registered somewhere in the top 10 at Erzberg, for example. Well, look at that, the shortcut has worked. The first single trail has also been gereinigt, so to speak, cleared. But we are talking supposedly, I always try to Germanize everything somehow, because it's very rare that standard German is spoken like I do. So that's the right way again. The side trip was up there. I don't know if you can still see that building. Dog again and again. I've had a few by now. Ride past slowly, I think better than speeding up. Speeding up wouldn't have worked here anyway. There's a small town up ahead. I guess I'll roll there now. The line on the monitor, the line on the television, the line on the display, on the Bildschirm. Now I have the German word again. The line on the Bildschirm will take me there. A small river, at least I hope. I'm not so keen with water, but it looks basically feasible. It's slippery as always the same, endlessly slippery. Now I have to go up there on the left. Another motorbike is coming. I've looked at these routes 1,000 times and drawn them, looking for alternatives. Bonjour, monsieur. And that was pretty much all my French. No, I still know Madame. Yes, what Alisa told me yesterday, for example, is to ride slowly through the towns, through the villages in particular, and past the people. That they like that. If you then unexpectedly get stuck, come back, they will help you. If you speed through like a crazy Central European, as I am, basically, then they are not so pleased if you have a problem and they may be less willing to help you. And yes, I'm going to adhere to that a little bit now. It's enough when you pass through the village or past the houses and then open up throttle again. You can't do that all day anyway. You're not a professional at a car racer, but actually a touring rider. So you can't have your throttle hand open like a madman all day long. When it's fun, it can quickly stop being fun. I just felt that quite quickly. First, I took out the tire, then the inner tube, and then put in the spare inner tube. That's great, of course, because I've divided it between two bags. The inner tubes are in the bag with the camping gear. This is to distribute the weight so that it's reasonably even. The tools are in the bag on the opposite side. Fortunately, I switched to a 22 mm nut at the front. So in theory, it all fits together. "88 Newton, I already know that. That's it now, right? 88 now. Someone else holds it. The tools are packed and I'm ready to go again. I'll put the backpack on my hip. A quick pit stop. The stage won't end in victory, but it's better to keep going than to end up here. Last but not least, in an exaggeration, next up is some kind of river crossing. Looks very sandy to me. Very tricky to ride. Not my thing at all. Riding slowly in a straight line is uncomfortable. But with the right viewing technique, it's possible. Endless mud. At least it's sandy or rocky there. Much better. I ride straight into the water and I hope I can get past that too. Bonjour, monsieur. Right. Yes, when I was looking for it, I found a few crossings for the water, and that worked. I hope it stays that way and nothing else happens. there's the pass, there it is. Now that I mention it, I can see it too. Yes, that's what happens when you have an unexpected flat tire. Then you'll find yourself riding along a path that is obviously very rarely used as it gets dark. It's actually a 2-lane path. In some places it's quite overgrown. You have to be especially slow there because you can't see anything under the tufts of grass. And so that's how it is now. First gear, second gear. Just don't get any flat tire or any other breakdown, right? Luckily, I can still see the way on the sat-nav on both of them. I picked it out myself, saw it from above. Now, theoretically, you'd have to turn sharp right there. That's right. It's quite nice to ride there, but I would have liked to have done it an hour and a half earlier. But that's how it is now. Luckily, it's not like at the equator, where the sun disappears within 10 minutes, but fortunately it takes a little longer here. And I hope I can still get to the end of the trail and see something. i.e. enough sunlight and not just my headlights and full beam. I haven't really got that much further and it's getting darker and darker. I'm already riding with my high beams on, which you can see in the picture later. At this point, it's just a matter of guessing whether you will hit the big rocks or not. But I don't want to stop and see how far it is to ride out there, because it won't help anyway. The only thing I could do, of course, is break off, find a flat spot somewhere and pitch my tent. I still have 2 bottles of water if they aren't burst or anything. And then I lay down somewhere. But I think I'll try a little further anyway. Last but not least, a classic. When turning around, oops, another mob. There are 4 of them now. Yes, turning around and stopping is probably the most dangerous thing when it comes to falling over. Once you've got a bit of momentum, it can definitely shift the front wheel, but you don't necessarily fall straight away. And now, late in the day, picking the thing up again was easy going with my light marching pack. The whole vehicle doesn't weigh 200 kilo, so that's why I'm not painting at all. Yes, that's just how it is. Better to pick it up on the 3rd or 4th attempt than to unload it, because the moped already weighs 200 kilos or more, and then there are another 40 or 50 kilos of luggage plus fuel and so on. So I'm quite happy that I've now committed myself quite intensively to this lightness. Now it's just a matter of getting down there. Now I've just abandoned it. I would have had, I don't know, another 15 kilometers of terrain. The alternative is now just paved out there, into the village, so to speak. And then we'll see what happens. So much for today's ride report, or today's daily report from today's ride in the Tunisian mountains. Extremely awesome route. Luckily, the single trail, which was an easy pass anyway, was mostly up there where it was already dusk, a former tractor path. But luckily, I left that behind at dusk. After that, it was a bit better again with the top LED lighting. Thank you. It's fine for riding, sort of. It just wasn't fast anymore. But yes, that's just how it is. Better late than never. In reality, I'm not spending my time in Tunisia, but the actual goal is that's the next episode.